Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 22nd, and today we're doing exercise 2. And so this is a Screencastify for exercise 2. Last class, hopefully you did the original Screencastify, watch that, and then watch this video. If you haven't watched this video, pretty important, 9 minutes. Makes a lot of sense, hopefully. So make sure you watch that video first about natural selection and Darwin's Voyage. I'll be going over that today. So that was last time. And then you did exercise 1 reading, practice quiz, green sheet, which is the reading notes, and finally you did evolution quiz 1. Hopefully you've done that already. The intent is for exercise 2 today is natural selection. And this is the Screencastify on natural selection, which I'm going to talk about this presentation momentarily. Okay. All right, so today we will do that presentation. After that, you will take a look at the book reading. Then, along with the book reading, you will watch a short video clip on natural selection, 9 minutes, stated clearly. Then you will complete the green sheet, evolution reading sheet, green sheet on natural selection, which looks like this. And then finally, you will do the evolution quiz 2, which I thought I had clicked already, but that's evolution quiz 2. You will do that at the end. And if we look at each one, that's kind of how each segment goes. And so I'm going to go ahead and dig right into the Darwin and natural selection presentation. Okay. So let's see. Okie dokie. So this is a picture of Charles Darwin when he was an older guy, and he wrote a lot about finches. And so this is just the intro page, Darwin and Evolution by Natural Selection. So he got an opportunity. He was actually kind of wavering in what he wanted to do in life, like many of us will, our senior year or somewhere along there. And think about being a minister, actually, of the church. And he got an opportunity to go on this HMS Beagle, and HMS Beagle's job was to map the coast of South America. He was very young, like 22 to 24 years old. He went aboard as the naturalist, and he was supposed to basically just record and draw and just take specimens of things that they saw as they mapped. They didn't want to just map. They also wanted to like say a little bit about the areas. And so he was the naturalist, and he was supposed to be documenting the science of what was going on this voyage. The voyage was pretty much around the whole Earth. And the place that we kind of always talk about is these little islands called the Galapagos. The Galapagos Islands, he went around the tip of South America, and then he's going back up. Right about there, if you can see that, was Galapagos Islands, about 500 miles off the coast of Ecuador. And he found some crazy awesome stuff there. So basically, what's going on here? Well, why would anybody think about evolution? Why would it even come up in people's minds? So Darwin was actually a very religious guy. He wasn't doing it in order to undermine religion at all. He actually always was religious, even to the day he died. Sure, he had his doubts about life and about religion and stuff, because it shook him a little bit. He had to kind of think, wow, where did all these things come from, and why would anybody think this at all? So when he was out there, he basically saw a bunch of different animals that were very similar to animals he had seen elsewhere, but they really seemed to match the islands that they were on. They seemed to match the circumstances. And he started to come up with an idea that maybe that nature was kind of selecting them to survive. And what do you mean by that? he basically saw this stuff and he said, "What the heck is going on?" And so, for instance, this tortoise shells, like for instance, the saddleback shell is amazing. But it came from a very dry island, and it was the dominant shape on the dry island, whereas this dome-shaped shell came from a very well-watered island, and the saddleback shell was not dominant there. So why? And so he thought that basically there was a relationship between the environment and what you get, and that's kind of the basis of evolution in natural selection. And so if we go back to the turtles real quickly. Um, Basic idea is turtles are born with all sorts of shapes like this, different shapes. And the one that has this shape actually has an advantage on the dry islands. And so these guys would die on the dry islands, and these guys would survive. And although these could mate and produce a bunch of variation, on the dry islands, this variation is the only one that actually survives very long. And so pretty soon, on the dry islands, this is all you're going to see is these guys will just die. So all the ones that survive will be like this. And so let's take a look at if we applied this to how the giraffe's neck got so long by the theory of natural selection. So basically, of all the giraffes that are born, there can be variation in neck length, just like for humans, there's a variation in skin color, variation in height, lot variation. And so the giraffes have a natural variation in neck length, but the long neck gives the giraffe a competitive advantage because of what they eat. Shorter neck could be a disadvantage, and you could die. And if you die, you can't have babies. And so the short necks will get out of the gene pool, as they say, and the long necks will begin more predominant in the gene pool. And over many generations, if this continues to favor the longer necks, then the longer necks survive. And so that's the basic idea of Darwin's theory of natural selection. I really think you should go back and watch this if you haven't watched it. It's only 9 minutes long, and they do a great job of kind of showing what Darwin did. And if you want to read about Darwin's life, go ahead and read On the Origin of Natural Selection, On the Origin of Species by Natural Selection by Charles Darwin. Anyways, he talks about his struggles in life and figuring out this and what it all meant. And yeah, it was a huge process. It wasn't just like, one day. Okay. Anyways, that's the theory of natural selection. So you have a book reading that goes along with that. So go ahead and take a look at the book reading. Go ahead and read that, and watch this video as well. And then go ahead and fill in this sheet. And that's a Schoology assignment that will be submitted to me. Hopefully you're familiar with this already, because this is number 2. This shouldn't be number 1. This should be number 2. And then after you're done with that, go ahead and take the quiz. So there we have it. We are on day 2, or exercise 2 on natural selection. This is the Screencastify, and I showed you the Darwin and natural selection presentation. You're supposed to read the CK12, which is the book. You're supposed to take notes on the green sheet and take the evolution quiz on Schoology. You will also notice that on the book reading, there is this little thing here that says view practice. And so if you click there, it will take you to a little quiz game, and you're going to basically take the quiz. It's going to ask you a bunch of questions and see if you know what the heck it is that you're talking about. So anyways, I hope that you join me today for the Google Meet, which is going to be in about an hour and a half. And if you have any questions, then go ahead and let me know. And if you're having trouble with your technical skills and that kind of thing, shoot me an email and we'll get in touch and we'll get you all taken care of. So hope you guys are doing great, and I will see you again soon.